Okay, and we're going to get started. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Welcome to our online Personal Finance Institute, where teachers can learn content and experience resources available for teaching the personal finance portion of high school economics and personal finance. Today, our personal finance topic is financing college. I am your host, Kate Scott. With me today is Brittany Bullock. Brittany.
Hello.
Hello, Brittany. Brittany
Good
is
morning.
currently the marketing associate for the Virginia 529, starting as a program operations analyst with the agency back in 2013. Her role is to educate families about the Virginia 529 plan and its features and benefits. She is a 2011 graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University and currently resides in Henrico, Virginia with her boxer puppy, Luna. Yay! Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you.
So tell me, how did you choose a career with Virginia 529?
When I graduated from VCU, I was a business major and I worked in banking for a few years. I actually worked for Virginia Credit Union, and Virginia Credit Union did a lot of financial literacy, and I started to get really into helping others and wanting to promote financial literacy and just financial education. And so the opportunity came up to work with Virginia 529, and I was like, this is perfect. They promote, they help families. Our motto is helping families dream, save, and achieve. So I applied for that program operations position. So almost for 7 years now, I've been with the agency. When I first started with Virginia 529, my goal was to get into marketing so that I could go out and educate and present and teach families about the importance of college savings. And that actually happened. So I love what I do. I love that I get to travel around the state and talk to families, talk to individuals about the importance of college savings and just telling everyone that they can save for higher education costs.
Oh, spectacular. So why is it important to have a savings plan for college expenses?
One of the key things that we like, and we talk about this usually in our presentation too, is that, a lot of times families use the financial aid route, which is perfectly fine. But when you're looking at those student loans and looking at the cost over time of having to pay back that tuition with student loans, you have to take into account the interest and the amount of years that you have to pay it back. Whereas the importance of college savings, you start building that savings up. And I always tell families, even if you don't save the full tuition amount, even if you just have a little bit saved, it's really going to help in the long run so that you don't have to depend on those student loans and have to worry about paying those student loans back over time.
Yes, that is so important. So as an organization, who is Virginia 529?
So Virginia 529, we are actually a state agency, and we are an independent state agency, so we're not run through the Treasury or anything. But what we are the state's 529 administrator. And so what a 529 plan is, it's back in 1996, there was that federal tax code or that federal law passed, the IRS tax code 529, that allows families to save in a account with tax advantage savings for higher education cost. So most states have a 529 plan. A lot of states run their plan through their Treasury Department or through another department. Our program is an independent state agency, so that's just Virginia 529 in a whole. So Virginia 529 is the agency, and then we offer that college savings program.
Awesome. So how does a 529 account differ from other college savings vehicles?
So the biggest difference between a 529 and maybe some of the other college savings vehicles are the tax benefits that you get. So with the 529 account, your account grows tax-free at both the federal and the state level. And then as an incentive for Virginia residents, we also offer a state tax deduction. So a lot of times we'll have families say, well, what about a Roth IRA or an IRA that we can use, or another type of, like a U-Promise account? And they say, what's the biggest difference? And that biggest difference are going to be the tax benefits that you get with the 529 compared to some of these other savings vehicles.
So what exactly are the tax benefits of investing in a 529 account?
Yeah. So the first tax benefit are the earnings in the account grow tax-free. So any money that you put into your 529 account, which is post-tax dollar contributions, but any contributions that you make, they're going to grow tax-free, meaning that you're not going to have to pay taxes on those earnings each year. And even when you pull the funds from the account to use for your higher education expense, those are still tax-free distributions. The other tax benefit is that as a Virginia resident, so if the account owner is a Virginia tax-paying resident, they can deduct up to $4,000 per year per account on their Virginia state income tax. So Kate, let's say you're an account owner and maybe you have 2 accounts and you put $500 in each account this year, you would take an $1,000 state tax deduction at the end of the year. If you put $4,000 in each of those accounts, you would take an $8,000 state tax deduction. So that's one of the bigger tax benefits that we do mention or talk about is the Virginia state tax deduction. So it's up to $4,000 per account that you have.
That's huge.
Yes.
So I know that there are different types of programs that Virginia 529 has, and that there's been programs that people have assumed are still active that are no longer active. So what are the features and benefits of each of the different types of college savings programs that Virginia 529 offers investors?
Yes, so Virginia 529 started back in 1996. The first program, and the program that a lot of Virginians are familiar with, was the prepaid 529 program. Prepaid 529, you were purchasing semesters of tuition, and then we would turn around and pay that tuition and mandatory fees at Virginia public institutions. So if you purchased 8 semesters of tuition and your student went to William and Mary, we would cover that tuition and mandatory fees regardless of how much that tuition went up. So regardless of tuition inflation. The news is that program actually did close last May to new enrollment. So General Assembly decided to close that program down and to develop a new replacement program. But the new replacement program, the reason they developed this program is to make it more affordable and more accessible for Virginia families. So this new program will come out the beginning of 2021. So we are in the process now getting ready to start our marketing campaign and get that information out there. 2021 is literally just a few months away. So it'll be here before we know it. So if we have families or teachers or individuals who are interested in learning about the new program, we're just asking that they sign up for our newsletter so that when we start releasing that information. So that was the first program that we offer. The program that we promote the most now is our Invest 529 plan. Invest 529, we started back in 1998, and it is a direct sold savings program. So think of like an investment account, and the account owner, they are picking an investment portfolio, and then they're deciding how much and how often they would like to save funds in that account. So they have full control over how much and how often they would like to make contributions. If they only want to make a contribution once a year or monthly or whenever they get additional funds that they can put aside. And those accounts are based off of market conditions. So depending on the investment portfolio that they would choose is going to determine the growth and how their invest account will perform. The third program is College America. College America is our partnership with CAP Group or American Funds, which most people are familiar with. Very similar to Invest 529. However, you're working with a financial advisor to set that account up. So Invest 529, you're managing it yourself. You're picking your own portfolios. Well, the portfolios that we already have set aside. American Funds, the College America program, American Funds, they're going to work with you to set up a portfolio, but you're going to have that financial advisor's assistance. And then the newest program that we offer that's kind of a little different from the college savings vehicle is that we also offer a disability savings program or a tax advantage disability savings program called Able Now. And this program allows families to save up to $15,000 per year without it affecting any of the mean tested benefits the individual may qualify for. This is also very good because a lot of families who have children on the spectrum will say, can we open an ABLE account and use it for their higher education? And you can. So we do have that option available too through the ABLE Now program.
Awesome. So where and how can the funds that you save in a Virginia 529 account be used?
So a lot of times we get the statement or the question, oh, well, I don't think my child's going to go to Virginia school, so we cannot use the funds, or we're not going to open an account. Virginia 529 funds can be used wherever federal financial aid is accepted. So if that school is a Title IV funded school, you're able to use your Virginia 529 funds there. So this includes your 2- and 4-year colleges and universities, even your community colleges. This includes your trade, vocational, and tech programs. It also includes your public and private institutions, in-state, out-of-state. We even have a few schools overseas that will accept Virginia 529 funds. The newest 2 features that were added is if you have a student in private K through 12 education, so maybe your child goes to like a Montessori school or they're in a private school, you can actually use up to $10,000 to pay for the tuition at the private school. And then the newest feature is that you can now also use funds to help cover any required supplies, cost, or equipment for apprenticeship programs. So if a student decides they want to do an apprenticeship program, you would now be able to use your 529 funds to help cover for the supplies, materials, or cost for that. As far as what you can use the funds for, it's not just your tuition and fees. You can use it for room and board. You can use it for supplies and equipment, textbooks, laptops. Those are the 2 big questions that we get there. Can we use it for textbooks and laptops, or any additional required supplies that they may need while they're in school?
Awesome. So you kind of mentioned this, but what happens if a beneficiary of a 529 account decides not to pursue formal post-secondary education?
So there's a few options that the account owner has. So the account owner, it's their account and they can make decisions at any time of how they would like to manage the account. So if the student decides that maybe they're not going to pursue higher education, or maybe they go into the military route, the account owner, they can hold on to their 529 account. So with the INVEST program, you have up to 30 years to use the funds in that account. So some families will hold on to that account. The student may change their mind. They may want to decide to go to school later on. Some families hold on to the account and wait for grandchildren to come along. And then that brings up the second option. You can, as an account owner, you can always transfer the funds in the account. So you can always change the beneficiary. So if you have an older student who doesn't need the funds, you can transfer it to a younger student, or you could transfer it to another individual if you would like to give the funds to them. The third option is that at any time, an account owner can cancel their account if they need to. Now, in the beginning, we talked about the tax-free growth and the tax benefits. If you were to cancel your account or use a non-qualified distribution, there would be some tax penalties on that. And the tax penalties are 10% on the earnings and then that ordinary income tax. So you can cancel that account if you're no longer going to need the funds. Just keep in mind the tax penalties that could happen for that cancellation.
Okay. Does having a Virginia 529 account affect financial aid eligibility at all?
It does. It's a very slim amount. So currently, what they look at is 5.64% of your account. So when you're filling out that FAFSA form, and they get to the point of where they're looking at parental assets, you would put in your 529 account there. They're going to look at 5.64%, and that's what they could deduct your financial aid package by. This is if the parent owns the account. They take into a different consideration if a grandparent or a non-custodial parent owns the account, at that point, what they do is the first year, they don't take it into consideration. But that second year, when you fill out that FAFSA form, they look at it as unearned income for the student. So it's a different calculation there. So they do take it to consideration, but it is a very small amount that they look at. We still have account owners who use both financial aid and their 529 account.
Okay. So can investors have more than one Virginia 529 account?
Definitely. So with the, you can have multiple accounts. So say if you are currently a prepaid account owner and you want to have an invest account too, you can. Some families choose different investment portfolios. So with the Virginia 529 account, if you're picking a different investment portfolio, it is a different account. So you could decide that you want to have a aggressive portfolio, a conservative portfolio, and an age-based portfolio. And those are going to be 3 different accounts for the account owner or for the beneficiary. So yes, you can have more than one account per beneficiary if you would like.
Okay. Where can individuals who are interested in learning more about Virginia 529 go to learn more or take the next steps to begin investing?
Very good question. So typically before, we would host public information sessions at different libraries across the state or different public areas. Of course, with everything going on right now with COVID-19, we've taken a virtual approach to that. So what individuals could do is they could go to our website and sign up for a webinar. Myself and 2 of my coworkers, we host 2 public webinars a month. So we do have a public information session webinar coming up soon, and then we'll have 2 in July. We also have pre-recorded webinars on our website, so if they just want to go through when they have a moment to kind of watch through or click through a webinar, they can. We also just finished up our 529-day 2-week kind of we did a Smart Savers course. So on our website, we also have a lot of additional webinars about investments. We have webinars about the Invest program. So our website would be the best place for them to start, where they could do additional research, look at those different webinars that we have on the website, reach out if they have questions or anything, excuse me. And then hopefully soon, once everything kind of calms down, we'll be back hosting those public information sessions. Usually those presentations are where they can get the most information that they need, or going to our website and kind of looking through those webinars or doing additional research from the website.
Awesome. So kind of to wrap up, any closing thoughts for our personal finance educators out there, a guiding piece of investment advice that helps you stay focused on your personal finances?
Really, my biggest thing is that anyone can do it. A lot of times I just hear families say, well, we can't do it, we can't afford it. And I had a mom last year tell me at a conference, she said, we sacrificed our $10 coffee, weekly, but it paid off in the long run. And really, it's just looking at that overall long picture, especially when you're looking at college savings or, a long run savings, is that, the small little things, it might be inconvenient now to not go buy a coffee or eat out as much, but in the long run, it's really going to pay off. When you see that end goal, and when years down the road you don't have to worry about taking out a loan or having to worry about how you're going to cover tuition or anything like that. So really, just anyone can do it, and have a sights on that long-term goal.
Brittany, thank you so much for joining us.
You are welcome.
And thank you to the educators who are joining us as well. Again, post any questions or ideas in the comments so that we can continue to build success. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.